Hello, friends. Okay, here we are at discussion for lesson 6. Okay, so in case you didn't notice at the unit preview, the Constitution is kind of a big deal, all right? And it's sort of important that we talk about it quite a bit, okay? So, what you're going to do is you're going to choose the discussion guide, and it says download the discussion guide and complete it. Looks like I need to have a link for this, and I will do that. Okay, so then you will click on the link, and this will magically, you'll make a copy, and it will magically open. Okay, so here we go. And this is the beginning before the discussion guide. It says Thomas Jefferson was born to a family of enslavers, and he himself owned enslaved people. As chairman of the committee that drafted the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson wrote a paragraph condemning slavery in the first draft of the Declaration. He included this paragraph in his list of complaints against King George III. Before the final version of the Declaration was adopted, this paragraph was deleted. Read the grievance below. So Jefferson said, King George III has waged cruel war against human nature itself. He has taken away the most sacred rights of life and liberty from a distant people who never offended him. He did this by captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, if they did not die a miserable death in their transportation to this new world. These disgraceful practices are the warfare of the Christian king of Great Britain. He has stopped every attempt to prohibit or to restrain the disgusting business of slavery. He is determined to keep open a market where men are bought and sold. And I have actually been to Monticello, to where Thomas Jefferson lived and his home, and I have talked with historians about this very subject. Thomas Jefferson, although a slave owner, he actually, after his wife died, he actually fell in love with one of his slaves, okay, which is kind of amazing to realize, all right? Her name, I can't remember right now, but anyway. But yeah, he fell in love with one of his, I can't remember it because, of course, I'm right here, right? He fell in love with one of his slaves, and it's just really interesting to think of him as being anti-slavery when he owned slaves, all right? So there's a definite, it's tricky. It's really tricky, okay? And I think it's really important for you as students to understand that slavery has always been an issue for the United States, okay? And these are some things of what different people believed about slavery at the Philadelphia Constitutional Convention, okay? And then some also historical interpretations of the things that they believed. And really, slavery was kind of one of those things that had to be put on a back burner in order to make the Constitution happen. And that's, I mean, at this certain time, we don't understand how that was to happen. But slavery was a thing, and you guys, these people were racist, okay? There's no more you can say about them. They were racist, all right? And it takes at least a generation to die out before racism becomes not a thing. And you know what? It's still a thing, okay? And we will learn about this through this entire class. I think it's kind of a theme of the entire class. So Really interesting, and I want you to dive deeper into this and to look at these excerpts and fill in these questions and then tell me a word that you're unfamiliar with. It might not be, it might just be a word that you're unfamiliar with in this context, okay? That's fine. Just do it for the points, guys. It's fine, okay? Fill in a question that you think is most important. Go ahead and highlight that and then tell me why. And then tell me, how was slavery seen during the writing of the Constitution? And what surprised you from this information? What did you already know? How does this change your interpretation of slavery at this time or of the Constitution? Um, it's it's a complex thing. It's really complex, and it's really important for you to be aware of the complexity of it. And to realize that, it took a lot of time. And, I mean, 100 years later, close to 100 years later, we had the Civil War. Close to 100 years later, we had the 1960s and the Civil Rights Act, and we're still doing it. We're still fighting this fight, and it takes a long time for it to fully happen. So anyway, I think you'll find this interesting. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.